everybody, this is Armstrong Sports, back again to bring you some more sport content. Today we are going to be covering the NHL 2018 Draft. Let's dive right into it with the first overall pick to the Buffalo Sabres defenseman Rasmus Dahlin. I think Dahlin was a lock-in type of pick. Dahlin is a talented defenseman who is deadly with the puck on his stick, and his defensive play isn't too shabby either. Very rarely do defensemen go first overall, but here with Rasmus Dahlin, there was no question. Now Buffalo have a franchise center in Jack Eichel and a franchise defenseman in Rasmus Dahlin. Expect this team to make big steps next season. Going on to pick number 2, we have to the Carolina Hurricanes, Andrei Svechnikov, right winger. Andrei Svechnikov was another no-brainer at second overall, as he is the best forward in this draft class, which is jack-packed with defensemen. Andrei's offensive game is incredible with a shot that strikes fear in a goalie's eyes. His defensive game is great as well, making him a great two-way player that is going to help Carolina out a ton. When I saw Carolina, a team that is already good, with a scary offense and a young, promising defense, got the second overall pick, I believed that this team was going to make some serious noise next season. I thought the same last season, but now with this addition, I am 100% sure, and something is going to have to go seriously wrong for Carolina not to compete in this stacked, competitive Metropolitan Division. Going on to the third overall pick, we have Jesperi Kotkaniemi to the Montreal Canadiens center. This is the Canadiens going off of needs and not off of simply the best guy available. If this team wanted the best guy available, it would probably be Filip Zadina, who we'll get to in a second. I didn't believe Kotkaniemi had the potential to go top 3, and many others did not believe so either. But nonetheless, Jesperi is considered one of the best centers in this draft class with his fantastic two-way game and playmaking capabilities. He's a smart, responsible player and might be able to help out the Canadiens who desperately need center help. Going on to fourth overall to the Ottawa Senators, left wing Brady Tkachuk. I like this pick. Again, might be a little high for Tkachuk, but he is a fast player with size and a lot of physicality. He shows terrific potential in this league. He's a solid 200-foot player. Going on to the fifth overall pick to the Phoenix Coyotes center, Barrett Hayton. I don't like this pick. The Coyotes just did a huge blockbuster trade with the Montreal Canadiens to get franchise center Alex Tkachuk, even giving up Max Domi. Why did the Coyotes feel like they needed another center even after they made that trade? I'm not sure. Going on to sixth overall, we have Filip Zadina finally to the Detroit Red Wings right wing. How in the Lord's name did this guy go 6th overall? Okay, let me tell you this guy's stats. In 82 games, 44 goals and 38 assists for 82 points in 57 games. Are you serious? That's first overall potential, not 6th overall. That's ridiculous. The Detroit Red Wings just pulled a gem out of the rough. I'm pretty sure one of the biggest reasons why teams were afraid of going for this pick any higher was because of the fact that he was in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, which is a lower tier league, of course. But still, translating stats like that, 82 points in 57 games, in the NHL, those stats will translate to at least a point a game average. Definitely third overall potential in my opinion. Going on to 7th overall to the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks select defenseman Quinn Hughes. I like this pick. The Canucks needed a good defenseman in this draft, and they got it. He is a bit on the small side at 5'11", but nowadays, defensemen don't need to be big. They need to be fast, smart, and able to move the puck. Hughes can do all three of those things so well. He is a real two-way threat who can contribute in many ways, both defensively and offensively. Cannot wait to see this guy in action. Going on to the 8th overall pick, the Chicago Blackhawks select defenseman Adam Bokvist, one of the most offensive-minded defensemen in this draft class, with the skill set of a forward. He is a great skater, and his playmaking ability really helps him set up his team in the offensive zone. But his defensive play needs work. If Chicago can fix that, this guy could be deadly. Going on to 9th overall, we have the New York Rangers right winger Vitaly Kravtsov. I like this pick. Kravtsov is an excellent dynamic winger with a fantastic scoring touch. He also shows some speed, skill, and grit. And at 6'4", he is a giant. Going on to 10th overall, the Edmonton Oilers select defenseman Evan Bouchard. I love this pick for Edmonton. The Edmonton Oilers needed a high-impact defenseman in this draft, and they might have just gotten it. Not only are they going off of need and getting a defenseman, but they are also selecting the best guy available. That's both lucky and great. Bouchard is an incredible two-way defenseman who is both fantastic at shutting down scoring chances in his own zone as he is creating them in the offensive zone. Going on to 11th overall, the first half of the Islanders' 2 picks in the first round, we have right winger Oliver Wahlstrom. Oliver Wahlstrom, an explosive scorer with a fantastic shot, great skating ability, and great at shielding/protecting the puck, but needs to work on his defensive play a wee bit. Going on to the 12th overall pick, the second half of the New York Islanders' 2 picks, defenseman Noah Dobson. Dobson is a great pick for me. He has a big shot, making him a potential productive blue liner and a potential high power play threat. He has fantastic defensive awareness, allowing him to defend just as well with his huge 6'3" appearance. Going on to the 13th overall pick, we have the Dallas Stars selecting center Ty Dellandrea. I do like Dellandrea's two-way potential and leadership, and the Stars obviously saw something in him to select him this high. But Dellandrea was ranked outside of the top 20 by most sport networks. Going on to the 14th overall pick, we have the Philadelphia Flyers selecting left wing Joel Farabee. He is a solid 200-foot player with great instincts on the ring. He'll need to get stronger and able to outmuscle those big defenders, but he shows promise and potential to be a deadly all-around player. Going on to 15th overall, we have the Florida Panthers, a team that barely missed out on the playoffs, selecting left winger Grigory Denisenko. He's a bit on the small side at 5'11", but he has an incredible shot, allowing him to be a deadly sniper in this league. And his playmaking ability is out of this world. But even though he is small and he plays a really hard style of his game, he shows great potential in this league. Going on to 16th overall, the Colorado Avalanche select right winger Martin Kaut. I like this pick for the Avalanche. Kaut shows promise at 6'2", a quick release on his shot, and a lethal passing game. He may benefit Colorado greatly. Going on to 17th overall, the New Jersey Devils select defenseman Ty Smith. Ty Smith is a great stay-at-home defenseman. He is a smart, sound type of player with great defensive instincts and great skating ability. He'll need to develop his offensive game to be a true two-way defenseman. But for now, he is a terrific defensive player, and he will bring good defensive depth to the Devils organization. Going on to 18th overall, the Columbus Blue Jackets select center Liam Foudy. This guy is a fantastic athlete who comes from a family of athletes, as his father was a CFL Canadian Hockey League player and his mother was an Olympic sprinter. The Jackets will be relying on his raw athleticism and try to develop his game even further. Going on to the 19th overall pick, the Philadelphia Flyers select center Jay O'Brien. Bryan wasn't exactly a first-round pick to me, and he was more of a 31st overall or second-round pick of a guy. But nonetheless, the Flyers obviously saw something in him that they liked, and his playmaking ability, and he will get time to develop at Providence College. Going on to the 20th overall pick, the Los Angeles Kings select center Rasmus Kubari. The Kings were coming into this draft wanting offense, wanting scoring. The more the better, as that's what they were lacking last season. Not able to score goals besides the fact that Jonathan Quick was standing on his head the entire season and the entire series against the Vegas Golden Knights. And they got a center who can score. Going on to the 21st overall pick, the San Jose Sharks select defenseman Ryan Merkley. Merkley is a guy who has a lot of potential and honestly could have gone a lot higher if it wasn't for his certain character concerns. His attitude and gamesmanship have dragged him down for ages. He is a high-risk, high-reward type of player for the Sharks here. Besides the fact that he is a bit on the small side at 5'11", he is a dynamic offensive defenseman who is dangerous with a puck on his stick. However, he needs to work on his defensive game to be a good two-way player in this league. Going on to the 22nd overall pick, the New York Rangers select defenseman K'Andre Miller. The Rangers traded up to get this pick. He is a big guy at 6'4", and he's a good athlete. Very similar to Liam Foudy, who was the Columbus pick. He has a lot of raw talent and will have time to develop in college. He switched from forward to defenseman just 2 years ago, so he might still be adjusting to the defensive game. He has a lot of potential. If he pans out, the Rangers may have made a great move here, selecting him. Going on to the 23rd overall pick, the Anaheim Ducks select center Isaac Lundestrom. This is a safe, solid pick by the Ducks. Lundestrom is a powerful, smart center. I don't think he is the most explosive talent in the class, but he brings a complete round game and has the potential to become a great offensive player for the Ducks team, who desperately need some picks to play around for the future. Going on to the 24th overall pick, the Minnesota Wild select defenseman Philip Johansson. Bad pick here by the Wild. He is not projected as a first round pick, so the Wild must have saw something in him. But what? Other players that got selected higher than they should have got selected because that specific team saw something in him that could have been used to their advantage. Whether that thing was leadership, scoring, defense, instincts, what have you. But Johnson doesn't have any of those props that make up for this pick. He could be a good depth pick for the Wild organization. That is all I can see him being, though sadly for Minnesota fans. Going on to the 25th overall pick, the St. Louis Blues select right winger Dominic Bok. The Blues traded up to get this pick, and I can see why. He is a great pickup for this Blues team, and he has incredible scoring talent. He has quick hands, great vision, and a shot that is able to pick the top corners with his incredible pinpoint accuracy. And he is able to outmaneuver a defenseman one-on-one, making him a deadly player that can make highlight plays. This guy might be my vote for the biggest steal in this year's draft. I am super excited for this pick, and he has great potential. Going on to the 26th overall pick, the Ottawa Senators select defenseman Jacob Bernard Docker. I don't like this guy as much as the first guy the Sens drafted. Very similar to Johnson, Jacob wasn't even expected to go first overall, but hey, this late in the first is close enough. He does show potential and could be a top 6 defenseman someday, I believe. Going on to the 27th overall pick, Nicholas Bowden selected by the Chicago Blackhawks defenseman. I like this pick for Blackhawks as they take their second defenseman of the first round. Bowden is a bit on the small side at 5'11", but like I said earlier, nowadays defensemen don't need the size like in the earlier stages of hockey. They need mobility and good puck moving potential. That's what Bowden does, and he has incredible hockey IQ. He is a promising prospect for the Blackhawks organization. Going on to the 28th overall pick, the New York Rangers select defenseman Nils Lundqvist. The Rangers, with their third pick in the first round, go for defenseman Nils Lundqvist. He is definitely not the flashiest defenseman in this draft class, but he is a great prospect and someone I am excited about. He has great puck moving potential, allowing him to join the rush and do some legit damage. He also has a lethal passing game, allowing him to set up guys during the rush. He is a solid two-way player. Going on to the 29th overall pick, the Toronto Maple Leafs select defenseman Rasmus Sandin. The third Rasmus selected in the first round is going to be Rasmus Sandin. I like this pick for the Leafs. He is a great defenseman with speed and hockey IQ. He is going to provide great defensive depth for this hockey franchise. And he has a great passing game which allows him to rack up assists fast, as he got 33 assists in 51 games and 45 points in 51 regular season games, and he got 12 assists in 24 playoff games for 13 points in 24 playoff games. He is going to be a good prospect for this Leafs organization. Going on to the 30th overall pick, the Detroit Red Wings select center Joe Veleno. Joe Veleno is considered a good leader, and he has been known to make players around him better. I'm surprised he falls this far down the board, as he was expected to go top 20. This is a smart pick and is not afraid to make gritty plays in the corners. Also, he is great in both areas of ice, both in the defensive and offensive side of the rink. His playmaking ability is also not as to be underestimated. This guy may be a steal. Going on to the 31st and final pick of the NHL 2018 draft, you have the Washington Capitals selecting defenseman Alexander Alex Viss. After winning the Stanley Cup, the Washington Capitals select a big defenseman at 6'4", but surprisingly not very physical, Alexander Alex Viss. He has the potential to be a great two-way player and has the skill set, but he needs some help in the defensive end. He will need to develop for sure. That concludes the 2018 NFL Draft. That concludes the 2018 NHL Draft. Thank you everybody for watching. This was Armstrong Sports, bringing you some more content. Please leave in the comment section down below what you would like to see in my next video. This was enjoyable. My next video is going to be on the NBA Draft. Look forward to that, as it is going to be exciting and fun. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button. And if you want to see more videos like these, smash that subscribe button and tap the little bell next to it so that you do not miss out on my next video. Thank you everybody for watching. This was Armstrong Sports, bringing you some more sport content. See you soon.